Okay, and we're live. Can you all hear me well enough? Hopefully so. What do I do? What do I do? Sorry, I was kind of in a rush setting up, so just give me a moment because I need to get something here so we can properly start. Okay, this should be here. Let me get this here. Okay, finally. And now I think we can start for real. I'm just going to put this here, put that there, do this, and yeah, perfect. Hello, A Fisher, and warm welcome to every single one of my public executioners here. But like in all seriousness, this my takes are probably going to be a lot less spicy than you're probably expecting. I'll be real with you. Because the only reason I really did this is, like I said in that community post that I'm guessing most of you didn't see. Uh, that I was just surprised, by how many people just don't know that I don't like Arknights. Like, from my perspective, at least, I constantly, well, not constantly, but I sometimes mention that in like various videos. I make a joke here and there. I already made multiple community posts at this point, both jokingly and well, not like expressing my dislike of the game. So I'm just really surprised that there are still people, especially still fans of this channel, who just don't know that, who were caught completely by surprise. So what I'm doing is I'm finally not just putting that in a like part of a video or in the rare community post. I'm just addressing this in video form, like focusing on it, so that people like I'm more aware of this from the get-go so that people can stop being so surprised at this opinion of mine. It's more or less why I'm doing this. So like I put in the title, the whole point of this is that I don't think Arknights is a bad game. Uh I always said this every time I expressed this opinion and had to be more serious about it, that I simply dislike it due to a personal preference. Because, well, not in. This is going to be a bad example since that is objectively bad. But the point is that Arknights to me is like Sword Art Online is to a lot of people. Like a lot of YouTube critics specifically, they use Sword Art Online as kind of a very popular um, example for everything that they dislike about anime. Like every type of anime that they dislike and the specific tropes in those anime that make them dislike it, you know? And Arknights is pretty much the same for me. It's just a very easy example in terms of games and specifically anime games to demonstrate kind of everything I dislike, all the elements that turn me away from like a piece of media. So that's why I Well, that and a couple of other reasons I'll get into. But that's me with Madoka Mágica then. Yeah, everyone's got their example of this, their go-to like example to demonstrate what they dislike. Pretty much one thing that encapsulates all their like all the things that they don't like in media, you know? And Arknights is simply that for me. It's not the only reason I make those jokes, again, as we'll get into, but it's pretty much the main point I want to address here. And what do I mean? Well, like I said in that community post, the easiest example is the gameplay. I don't like Arknights' gameplay because, well, I don't like tower defense. And from what I understand, Arknights is a game that not only is from this genre that I just generally dislike, but it has a focus on like strategy. It's a very difficult game that people who do beat are very proud to have done so. So it's kind of like, as cancerous as this will be to say, the Dark Souls of gacha games, you know? And that itself also like turns me away from it because like when you have a game like that you generally create a community as I experience myself with like ultra kill community, right? That you have a lot of people that are tryhards, that are sweats. And I don't mind those people. People play however they want. But when you have a community of these people, they tend to look down on beginners. And I've seen that a lot. A lot of people, not all Arknights fans, but a lot of them look down on beginners. They like don't want to just let them learn and fail and like try to get better. Like they'll get really mad at you if you're not just good from the get-go, you know. And again, Arknights is not unique about this. It's not unique about a lot of the elements that I dislike, but again, it's a go-to example. Why did you have so for example, if I tell you guys, oh, I didn't have a lot of good experiences with the ultra kill community. I had some good ones, but in general, they weren't very good. I can just point to Arknights and say, hey, it's because of that. You know, like I said at the beginning, it's a good example. And while we're on the topic of the community, one thing that I really dislike about Arknights' community too is that they put the game on a pedestal. You know, they view it as this um how should I say, kind of perfect game that one second here guys. I don't think I am where is this? Oh, okay, sorry. They see this they see it as this kind of perfect game. One of the reasons I joke so much about Arknights, one of the reasons I trash it so much, is because I just feel like someone has to, you know? Because like everywhere I go on the internet, no matter if it's in another gacha games community or in the gacha game community in general, and especially not in the Arknights community, like I never seen any genuine criticism, any person who was just like, no, this game is good, but there's this part that's bad, or there's this part that I don't like, or like they meme about it or they make fun of it. I never seen that. It's an unending sea of glaze for Arknights. That's why I also like to call it the kind of golden cow of the like gacha community. You can make fun of Nikkei and its players. You can make fun of Blue Archive and its players. Heck, I even saw a whole bunch of jokes, especially recently, and deservedly so, made on the Limbus Company community, right? But I never once saw any sort of criticism, any sort of call outs, any sort of real dislike for Arknights. Like I said, no matter where I go, it's just an endless sea of glaze for that game. Now, there are some people who, like, from time to time will, uh, like, criticize certain aspects of the game, like some particularly predatory practices in the gacha or some gameplay changes that were particularly egregious in their opinion, but they will never like genuinely call the game bad. They will never genuinely provide any criticism of the game itself. You know, it's all just endless praise. And am I on the wrong one? Yeah, I'm on the wrong one. And that bothers me, you know? It really does. And you might think that that's petty, and to some extent it is. I'm not even like if I'm going to criticize Arknights, I also have to be fair and like point out my own flaws in this regard. But seriously, man, it's just tiring, you know, to just hear, to just see all your favorite games and communities get trashed all the time, get like made fun of all the time, and then there's just heck, it's really bad to see other people's communities like get the same treatment, and then you see this one kind of uh, put on a pedestal. It's just a bit frustrating, you know. And again, I know that this is very petty, but like this is one of it's not one of the reasons I dislike it, but it's one of the things that makes me want to clown on it. It makes me want to make fun of it, makes me want to like criticize it because uh it really is just tiring to see the game put on this pedestal by pretty much everyone. But that also segues a lot into just a sec. But that also segues very well into another topic, which is the comparisons. Whenever people compare any other games to Arknights, they always do so as a way to elevate Arknights. That's why I even like joked about this in one of my first community posts on this topic. That oh no, please to any Arknights fans, like please praise the game, please tell me what you love about the game without tearing any other game down, because every time it's just so tiring, because whenever people compare any gacha game to Arknights, they never like try to see what one does better, better than the other, like what good points is there in one and like in the other. They never actually compare it, you know. They every time another game is brought up in an Arknights discussion, is all just to glaze Arknights further. It's all just like, oh, look how over sexualized and like trashy the designs of this game are. But Arknights is realistic, man. Arknights is like super tasteful, and even the fan service is so well made, and like it's just great. It's just so unique and beautiful. Oh, look at that trash like mobile gameplay of that other game. Isn't it so bad? It like Come on, everyone should know. Even if your standards are on the ground, you should know that that game is garbage. But Arknights, oh, now Arknights is an example of what every gacha game should be. It's just annoying because it legitimately feels like. Obviously, I'm not accusing people of that. Oh, also, hello Kodokunasu and Gamer 2000. I'm sorry I didn't address you guys. I was just too into my own like rant. I swear I will address all the comments later, you know. But for now, uh, I'll continue with my rant. And it's just annoying because I know that they're not all like this, but it just feels like people can't praise that game, that the fans can't praise that game without tearing pretty much every other game down, you know? And it's just annoying. Now, I used to think that Arknight's community was especially bad in this regard, but unfortunately, it's just an example of like again one of those traits that I can point to Arknights and say, oh, this is what I dislike, because I've seen that in other communities too, and it just disappointed me to no end. I saw some Nikkei players doing that. I recently saw some Blue Archive players doing that, like not to Arknights, but they compared their game to other games to say, oh, all the other ones are trash, but Nikkei, but Blue Archive, but insert game here, oh, that is good, that's the good one. And it's just so annoying, you know. You don't need to tear other games down. You don't need to like insult everything else just to like elevate what you like, just to um like prove that what you like is good, you know. So that about covers it for the community. I actually didn't think about doing this before, but I actually, because the whole point of this video, the whole thing that inspired this video was a comment that I got by an Arknights fan, that it was just a rant about like kind of addressing my points, you know, or of points that they wanted me to address. So I'll get to that, since that kind of this has been kind of all over the place. I'm going to use that comment to kind of structure the rest of my criticisms. But before that, I've been ignoring comments for way too long, so let's start reading reading that. Okay, sorry to have ignored you guys for so long. Let's continue. No, let's get to it. I'm sorry. As a Limbus player, I hate Limbus. Being fair, I never knew Arknights existed up until a month ago. I never played it since FGO is better. The whole oh, I played this game and like I hate it attitude is a lot more common in the FGO community, like as far as I'm aware. So I'm surprised you don't have that attitude towards that instead. But anyway, being fair, uh, being fair, I never knew. Oh, okay. It's two people. Oh my god, why am I so stupid? Okay. No, but my point still stands. Let's continue. AK is a good tower defense game in my opinion, but not everyone will like how they do it. Again, case in point, me. Battle Cats is better, me with Madoka Magica then, nada's Battle Cats to be honest. In that defense, being a veteran player seeing the worst plays ever makes you cringe. Like, I get it, I've been on that, like, um, what's that? I've been in that position too, so I do kind of understand it. Like, that's why I don't, like, I'm not salty about it. I'm not salty about what happened in like the second ultra kill stream. You know, if you follow my community post that I often joke about it, like it say that, oh no, I was terrible, because I was. Like a lot of that trash talking was warranted, but it's still just not nice, you know, especially when you're a beginning player. It just takes away the like your want to continue with the game. Like I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to get good, you know. So why are you like blaming me? Why are you making fun of me? Why are you getting so mad at me because I'm not uh, perfect from the get-go, because I need to improve, you know? It's kind of frustrating on both sides, I think. But continuing on, real fans of a game hate their game. Lol. Okay, the Limbus Company player we deserve to get clowned on. Yeah, yes, you do. Blue Archive deserves the comments, to be fair. At least the BA community clouds on itself regularly. I actually want to hear an explanation for this, because I'm not accusing you of anything, Imamafar, but like I just want you to explain that whole thing of, oh no, Blue Archive players deserve the comments. I don't get what you mean by that. That's all. Us FGO fans trash on FGO daily. I could understand this mentality. Sometimes if you like the game as it is, there's nothing to complain about. Uh, yeah, it's less that the community doesn't clown on it. Like I can understand that, but it's just that no one like clowns on it. It's treated uh, by the whole gacha community has kind of this again golden cattle, which is what bothers me. If the game is truly good, the fans will trash on it. Not even Glaze. This sounds like dick hitting. Are they that bad? At least from my experiences, you know, because you can't generalize. I had a lot of bad experiences with the like Arknights community, and a lot of people had very good experiences with the Arknights community. So you kind of, what's the word? Like what I'm this image that you're getting of the Arknights community, know that it's painted, it's colored by my own bad experiences, you know. Don't take this as, oh, a statement of fact. I'm just giving you my perspective, but I like I myself encourage you to go interact with them yourself and draw your own conclusions. I don't want to just color your opinion on a whole community. Maybe your experiences will be better than mine. I'm just saying what I went through. Okay, but let's continue. Arknights players would die if they knew some of their artists draw off-brand of their own characters. Like, I even saw that actually. Like, I saw not only a lot of Arknights players who are really prudes, like they have this whole like, oh, our game is so much better in regards to fan service and fan service designs. They have this pride around the designs that, oh, they're not the over sexualized trash that other games have. So like due to that attitude, I can definitely see this happening, especially because I've already seen it happen on Twitter a couple of times. Like Arknights players just being really annoying in regards to like sexualized designs, you know. Heck, the cope. We're going to talk about this later, but the cope that a lot of people are having because of Arknightsendfield, right? That actually upped the sexualization. The amount of Arknights fans I've seen like coping about it or being butthurt or mad about it is just I shouldn't like this isn't a good attitude to have, but it just gives me that kind of evil joy, you know, to see. But sorry. Moving on. Specifically, Vermeil's artist, okay? Blue Archive fans can't be talking, bro. If a Blue Archive fan tries to judge you, force them to show you their files. What, scared of a four-letter word? If they hate the game, then why would they still play it? We're being satirical. To be clear, when I say I hate Limbus, I hate it because I care a lot about the game and want it to be better. That's a good attitude to have. I'm mostly sarcastic when I joke on Limbus or the main gacha I play, Blue Archive. Five-letter word explains it. Again, I don't get it. Like this whole attitude that you have about Blue Archive players. I don't. I really would like you to explain it better because I just can't get why you dislike them. Because I know, at least I hope, you're not an anti lolicon if you're still here. So I really can't understand it. Also, again, veteran players can be harsh, but if you were a player at endgame being forced to watch the worst gameplay ever, you would understand. Again, I do, but I have kind of both perspectives, so I can understand both sides, is what I'm saying. The only experience with AK I had was the Muse Dash collab. I didn't even know about that one. BA players are insanely freaky. I haven't spoken to one BA player that doesn't talk about sex constantly. I'm neutral on the lolly stuff, but holy hell, they sound like actual P words compared to other lolly fans. Like it's like we make a gay joke and BA fans kiss dudes type of situation. I get it, but I actually like to defend Blue Archive fans on this later. Again, we're talking about Arknights here, but like I actually would like to address that point later too. But anyway, let's continue with my whole explanation for my dislike of Arknights, and now structured by that fan's comment. So he starts with this. Arknights is the only tower defense game I've ever played, but I found it a lot of fun. It seems a lot more enjoyable than the gameplay of other uh, like tower defense games I've seen. Here we go. Remember what we were talking about? No, but this is one of the like. To be fair, he is like I'm just joking about this. Obviously, this guy isn't being annoying about it or preachy or arrogant. That was just a joke. Before any of you get mad and think that I'm complaining about nothing, which usually look like boring slogs where you place stuff to automatically defeat the enemies until you get the currency to upgrade, replace the towers with better versions to also automatically defeat stuff. Continued on forever until inevitable win or loss. Most people who play a lot of tower defense say Arknights is one of the absolute best at it in the genre, so likely it really is a matter of personal taste, very much so, and you wouldn't like it anyway. Some newbies even try to give it a fair shake despite the unfamiliar genre, but it just has to click for the person to enjoy it. One newbie spent over an hour and 40 plus attempts in order to clear the training stage. You get what I'm talking about? Now, this is serious. With the preset team provided. Another person spent a week trying to get past no guides as a self restriction, the same stage, and I believe gave up on the game since I haven't seen any more AK videos for by then or updates in their community posts after many weeks. As for the rest of your dislikes, I guess you just dislike grittier, darker, sadder, slash more serious tone stories in tone, and dislike writing with an emphasis on world building and geopolitics rather than a standard structured character narratives. I think I mostly see you playing visual novel romance slash slice of life anime styled games. I assume. Do know basically any of them, but you sometimes give a short synopsis of the game you're playing on community posts. So perhaps the more horizontal structure of the Arknights narrative is in your taste and you prefer a linear narrative structure instead. There are many AK haters. Okay, we'll get to that later, but I would like to address like what was just tackled, which is the story tone, because yeah, that is one of the big things for me. I pretty much dislike every single aspect of Arknights, every single one, but the story is one of the big ones because just like with Limbus Company, I don't know if you guys still remember that video since it was a while ago, but I said that I like while I liked the gameplay of Lobotomy Corp, I absolutely did not care for the story. And at the time, I couldn't understand why, but I think I just got it. And just because, like, I don't. Because one person, told me that, like, a story can't just be all sadness, it has to have moments of reprieve in order for you to both be able to appreciate them in the middle of all the sadness and so the sadness can hit, like the sad moments, the soul crushing moments can hit that much harder. I agree, and I'm not going to say something outrageous like, oh, Arknights doesn't have any moments of reprieve, any cutesy moments or interactions or anything. Like, obviously it does. Like, quite a few of them. But I feel like the balance, like, it's more the balance of things. Like, with both Lobotomy Core and, by extension, Library of Ruina and Limbus Company and like Arknights, I feel like the balance is way too much to one side. I get it, like I get the appeal of that. Heck, for a non-gacha game example, Jujutsu Kaisen's pretty much the same, you know, and they are very successful. A lot of people like that story, and I do understand why. There is an appeal, there's a value to those kinds of stories, but to me, Arknights and all those other stories like Jujutsu Kaisen, like the whole Project Moon, like games, the well, Arknights, it tends too much to the sadness. It's too gritty. It's too like depressive. It's too like oppressive. It's too sad, you know? And like I can care about this to a certain level, but when it's just that all the time, at some point I just stop caring. Like I just go, oh, next sack, like from Lobotomy Core. He is sacrificing himself because he believes Carmela's cause and blah blah blah. Whatever, man. Just die already. I don't care anymore. Like at some point, if you fuck up this balance of the like more laid back and more cutesy and more hopeful moments and the sadder stuff, like if you do go too much in one direction, as I feel these pieces of media do, I just kind of can't care for it. I just kind of don't enjoy this type of thing. So yes, Arknight story is one of the main elements why I don't enjoy the game in that regard. And well, has he is right in some extent in that I do prefer like more cutesy stories. I do prefer more happier stories. Like I'm fully willing to admit that I'm a complete hypocrite on that. If a story is too cutesy and there's absolutely no conflict and sadness, just give me that shit, man. I love those types of stories. But if you're going to make a sad story, I got to need at least a little bit of happiness in there for me to care, you know? So yes, I am a hypocrite. Yes, this is all personal taste. Like all of these critiques again, all of this is just personal taste. I'm just saying, like I said at the beginning, Arknights is just a good example for pretty much every single one of its elements of just things I don't like in media. It's not even like things I think are bad, because again, I do think objectively Arknights is a good game, but it's just a bunch of all the elements of it is just a bunch of things I dislike personally, you know? But before I move on to the next point, I feel like I should read some comments. Let's go here. Okay. The problem is more experience in the game and join my band. Uh, okay. In my opinion, BA fans tend to act a lot more outrageous to keep the community filtered. In my opinion, yes, that's exactly the point I was going to make, so thank you for addressing this first. When I talk to fellow fans, we tend to talk about the story and how cute the characters are personality-wise. By the way, the most important but often ignored, overlooked part about fan service, sexualization, etc., is that there is no evidence that it really normalizes anything or causes anything harmful. Uh, I do agree, but we're not on that discussion right now. I think you should do that in reverse. What? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would we like put the more outrageous elements in the community? Like that wouldn't filter anyone. It would just make the community seem normal in that case, and then a lot of annoying normies would come in, and then they would just start shit because they realize that, oh no, this is a community full of degenerates. It's good to have the degenerate stuff front and center so that these people won't even approach the game at all. That's the logic, you know. So I really don't get it on that. I really don't get what you're where you're coming from with this. Arknights is quality slop. You only dislike it because it's good. uh, it's just I know you're joking, but I've seen so many people say that unironically, as if just because something is objectively good, that you can't dislike it for like personal reasons. Like, for example, my mother, she doesn't like horror movies. It doesn't matter. It can be the best horror movie ever made. She just doesn't like horror movies. Like, is that really that bad? Again, I know you're just joking, Ekati, but there are enough people who say that seriously to still annoy me. Basically, most BA fans are scared of their game getting censored to appeal to the ever elusive modern audience, so they act out. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that. Actually, that's one of the points for later on in the podcast. I suppose it makes sense, though usually we only make the crazy jokes inside the fandom the more you're into it. I may play BA soon. Fairs. Basically, if you see a BA fan on Twitter, assume they're turning it up to 11. Of course, some of us are just like that, some actually are that horny. That's actually a very fair opinion, there, okay? Perfectly addressed. As for Project Moon, the stories tend to be about the payoff. The payoffs of Project Moon are always great, but you will feel the character's pain. No issue in enjoying what you enjoy. You're not an hypocrite? No, I'm completely a hypocrite. Personal taste doesn't make you a hypocrite. Yeah, it's just personal taste, and you're being very upfront about it. It's fair. If you want to grab, Derek said he got a standout. It's going to be about giant machines or super soldiers because, other than that, I'm not really interested if you like the normal basic stuff. I feel like you're in a completely different discussion, Devin. So, if you don't mind, could we like discuss this on some of the community posts instead? I like to keep this a bit more on topic. Basically, we have to keep the weirdos derogatory out to keep the cool weirdos affectionate. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But now let's address some other aspects of the game. What else? What else? There are many AK haters that trash it solely for having an unvoiced VN story presentation. That could be the design philosophy, it absolutely isn't. You meant. But I assume since you play VNs that such a thing isn't one of your reasons. Um, and like, I'd like to, because of what we addressed before, like, I'd just like to ask the person that made this comment, these Arknights haters, are they in the room with us now? Because seriously, I never seen a single one out there in the wild. By the way you're describing them, they just sound like complete dickheads. So I'm not saying that in the sense of, oh, I want to find someone that finally shares my opinion, because it seems like we absolutely do not, that we dislike Arknights for completely different reasons. And again, that they're dickheads. But I just want to see one of that. I want to see one of those people that genuinely dislikes Arknights because I never seen it. I never encountered these people. To my knowledge, they may as well not exist, you know, outside of me. And now we're going to talk about the designs. You mentioned the characters being not sexy as a flaw of the original game in your post. I personally just think that is a matter of taste too. Absolutely. Arknights prefer realistic. No, this is just something I got a clown on. I'm going to address the other things because he does have some good points. But realistic fucking designs in Arknights, really? Dude, I've seen your design. Look at the screen. You think any woman would fight wearing fucking these booty shorts? You think any girl that was in like the situation they're in would genuinely fight in a dress? Are you fucking serious? What do you mean realistic, my bro? This is one of the things that I genuinely think it's bad about the Arknights community. A lot of it is just like taste, but this is one of the one things I would actually like argue is an objectively bad part of the community. Not the game itself, because like the game never like advertises itself this way. Quite the opposite, actually. If you actually go to like some of the ads for Arknights, you will straight up think it's a Gunner game on the level of, or even worse in this regard than Nikkei, because what the fuck are those ads, bro? But uh like Arknights players have this like perception that, oh no, our designs are so much more realistic, it seems like shit woman would actually wear. My dude, do you see the situation these girls are in? They absolutely would not. You want to see realistic, like realistically dressed, like female soldiers in a gacha game? Go play Nikkei. Like every single design, every single R Nikkei design is far more realistic than any of your scantily clad operators are. Okay, I'm sorry to say, none of this shit is realistic in the slightest. No girl in the real world would ever go to battle in anything close to a miniskirt. Okay, I need to calm down. I need to calm down. You all get my point. Just like, let's continue. Uh, Arknights prefer more realistic designs and techwear armor with combat utility rather than goombait or raw attractiveness appeal, and I find that preferable for the community health for sure. I think it has helped a lot to keep more nefarious individuals and tourists out, who only want to play gacha games to have PNGs of hot women in their collection instead of playing for the story. I really dislike this kind of perception too, because from what I see, most people who play gacha games for like the quote unquote Gunner bait also like the story. Like, I'm sorry if you have the attention span of a fly and can't like enjoy boobies at the same time as a serious story, but I can. So, skill issue. Sorry. But anyway, where was I? Uh, Character, narrative, or gameplay reasons, I think Blue Archive kind of succeeds doing the opposite extreme, where it doubles down on cunning and attractiveness that could possibly deter people from playing without stripping away the gameplay story identity to do so, and that approach works to combat tourism. I can at least see that to some extent, depending on the different types of tourism. Uh, yeah, and the rest of this is going to address Endfield, and it's going to be like its own section. So let's talk about the designs. First, I will address some of the comments, and then we'll talk about the designs that he was talking about. If you find a hater on Twitter, they're likely to be a dickhead. Twitter is a cesspit, true. AK has fan service, it has a lot, we're going to talk about that. Uh, Reasonable crash outs, thank you. The fans, however, are Twitter and Tumblr users. Whoever is saying that is delusional. The designs are cool but far from realistic. I don't agree, but I at least like, what would be the word? I think you actually have a point. Like, I disagree with your opinion that the designs are cool, but I can respect it. I can understand that. Um, like, yeah, that opinion that they're not realistic but that they're cool, I can respect it. Twitter and Tumblr users are somehow more puritanical than church goers, true. Realistic, buddy. They have bulletproof vest and a camo outfit with an AR-15. Okay, realistic, buddy. They would have a bulletproof vest and a camo outfit with an AR-15, true. Yeah, to be honest, scooter games, I don't know why people compare them. It's usually like, usually they have a lot of sex involved because of the word guilty, if you know what I mean. I don't really. Like, I think what he's saying is that he doesn't like Gunner games, which is fair. What are they on about? That's untrue, Mr. Obscure Anime. Robots would not need pussy zippers in real life. Look, I'm not talking about the SSR designs. I'm talking about the R designs, the rare Nikes, the mass-produced things. Okay. No, I'm not talking about Alice. I'm not talking about like any of that stuff. Okay. Like go see those designs. Uh, uh, Young the Ferret says, no, trust me, the pussy zippers are essential. Yes, I agree. I feel attacked. I haven't read the story of Arknights in years. Realism is often presented as a benefit, while it's just a trait which can be both pro and a con depending on the situation. True. Realism is just a tool which doesn't have to make anything better. Correct. Personally, the game just has too much shit for beginners, and that's overwhelming as fuck. I've seen examples of that, and I can agree to it. What are you talking about? It's anime. Nothing makes sense in anime. Oh, God! Oh, boy, you just gave me the perfect segue, because that's the point. Like, the reason I dislike Arknight's outfits, like Arknight's designs, isn't just. I'm not going to, how do I put this? It's part of the reason. Like, obviously, there's the whole, oh, they're not sexy enough for you, and that's why you think they're bad. Like, that's part of the reason, but it's just that they don't feel like anything to me. Like, that's the problem I have with Arknight's designs in general, is that they feel restrained on everything. Like, it feels like a lot of Arknight's designs feel like someone was like, oh, I want to make a super cute design. Ooh. But if I make it too cutesy, people might think it's cringe, like a Redditor is designing a character. So I'm going to limit myself. I'm going to make them cute, but not too cute. To not so that my fellow redditors with all their gold and karma don't think that my design is cringe or like too anime or stuff like that. It feels like a creator was like, no, I want to make something cool, but oh, it can't be too cool, or else I'll look like an edge lord. So I need to limit. I can't make it too cool, or else people are again going to make fun of me because like I'm exaggerating. The same thing with sexiness. Oh, I want to make a design sexy, but can't make it too sexy. You get the point. Arknight's designs feel like nothing to me. Because exactly the thing that makes them good for you, that they restrain themselves and that they don't exaggerate, I don't think it's a good thing. Especially for an anime game. Like, for a more realistic styled game, or even a cartoonish one, like, I could get that approach, especially again with a more realistic styled game or close to realistic. But on an anime styled game, especially an anime style gacha game, this kind of restrained approach just makes things boring. Like, none of the supposedly cool designs of Arknights can even compare to some of the actually cool designs of games like FGO and Limbus Company. Like, the cutest design, the cutest character design in original Arknights cannot compare in level of cuteness to the designs of Blue Archive or Azure Lane. And like sexiness, don't even get me started on that. Because a lot of people will tell you that Arknights has no fan service. No, like that person said, Arknights has a lot of fan service. Has much fan service, has most other gacha games, in fact. It's just that it's more restrained. They clearly want to appeal to the goombait. Like, they clearly want to appeal to the goombait with a lot of those costumes, but they just do it in this restrained way, which is just frustrating. Because, like, it feels like Arknight's designs have no appeal. Like, they try to restrain their appeal to, like, not upset the reasonable people on Twitter, in order to make it sexy but tasteful, cool but not too exaggerated, cute but not too cutesy, that's cringe, and it just makes all the designs there bland. Like, I doesn't matter what appeal you like you consider, doesn't matter like what it's trying to convey, what like it's main objective is, its main appeal is. I can see designs that do that a lot better in pretty much any other game because they actually commit to what makes anime great, at least in my opinion, which is exaggeration. Anime is supposed to exaggerate. Anime is supposed to make things that go over the top, further beyond, cute beyond cute, sexy beyond sexy, cool beyond cool. And Arknight's designs have this design philosophy of restraint, which again can work well, but particularly for me in an anime game that goes against what anime is about for me. Like it's like those people on Twitter that want anime but don't want it to be too anime, you know? It's that kind of attitude. Now, before anyone like crucifies me, I know that this is not like I'm not calling the artists redditors. I'm not saying that this is like the process that they actually had. A lot of these people probably just were people who genuinely found it to be just a different approach instead of restrained approach to like something usual. You know, they just said they were just people that say, "Oh no, this is what's cute to me. I don't find that cute. I want to make a different cute that's cute to me. Oh, I don't find that sexy. I want to make a sexy that's sexy to me, etc." Like I'm not accusing people of anything. I'm just saying how it feels like to me. What my perception of Arknight's designs are. I'm not saying that they necessarily are that way. You know, I'm not again accusing anyone of anything. Just sharing my perspective. What else? What else? Oh, in regards to the costumes, I see a lot of people praising Arknight, especially because they make like really creative costumes, like costumes you can't see in any other gacha game. And then I go look and oh, it's a gardener costume. Wow. Oh, it's a like jacket for the cold costume, like an ice clothes costume. Wow. Like it's that type of unique, you know? And a lot of people will say, oh, but that's not the point. The point is that they relate to the characters. They aren't there just to be cutesy costumes. They tell you something about the characters and the stories and their journeys and etc. And I get that. But again, a lot of people are just putting down other games to like elevate Arknights with that because a lot of games do that. Like even with seasonal costumes, you can see Azure Lane, for example, is a perfect example where yes, they will have a lot of swimsuits. Yes, they will fall back into like normal archetypes like schoolgirl and bunny girl and nurse, etc. But every single costume is designed differently and has a different sort of fan service and is tailor made for that character. It relates to their stories too. It relates to who they are as well. It's there to actually match and tell you something about them, but like it's more associated with the event, it's more associated with the theme, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't carry the same or at least a similar sort of significance. So again, I don't think Arknight's designs are bad. Again, objectively, they're good. Like, there are a lot of things I can praise about them. For example, again, while their type of uniqueness isn't particularly interesting to me, I can understand why people would like it. Because when you go through many gacha games and you keep seeing Nurse, Bunny, Schoolgirl, Nurse, Bunny, Schoolgirl, like something different and especially well made different can be pretty refreshing. So I do understand that even if I don't agree to it. Similarly, Arknight certainly has a distinguished art style, which is very useful for me because sometimes I'll just be scrolling through Twitter, like liking and reposting artwork, and then I'll come across one that looks really cool, but then I'll see, no, but that feels wrong, you know? Hold on, is this? Oh, it's an Arknight's character. Fuck that. I'm not reposting that, you know? But like while I'm being an asshole, while I'm using it to just be a dickhead, like that way, I can't deny, especially because I have that experience that kind of proves it objectively, that they have a very unique design that's instantly recognizable, you know, and that is a point of appeal. Heck, the restrained appeal again. I know a lot of people would like they like the exaggerations of anime, but they don't like that than to go over the top. They want it to be exaggerated, but only to a certain extent. And Arknights fulfills that sort of um, like appeal. I think it's like very lame, like super lame. But if other people like it, again, who am I to say that they're wrong? Like they just like different stuff than I do. That's fair, you know. And so that's why I dislike Arknight's costumes. You know, those are kind of my reasonings. Now let's read some of the designs. I think people should stop using realism as an argument. Outfits have to make sense in the setting itself, true and real. The what zippers? I am. I always. I thought Amy from Blue Archive was an extreme outlier design. AK could never. It's totally counter to the cool post-collapse tech chick aesthetic philosophy. Add as many posts as you need to for AK, really. What people should say is that they want believable designs, not realistic designs. Uh, Again, it's because like believable can be whatever you want it to be. Like I can just right now create a setting and have it so that every woman wears bikini armor, and then I can just say that, oh, it's because a god, there are like in this world there's a goddess that if women specifically wear bikini armor, then they will be fully protected against everything. So everything, I do get where you're coming from, and in general, I agree, but believability can be anything you want. Like, these designs can be believable for Arknights, but that doesn't make it better in this regard, because in that sense, the designs for Nikkei, for example, are also believable for them due to their lore. So, I'm kind of torn on that argument. I'm going to disagree with you here. I think AK sticking to its aesthetic is for the best. Again, I'm not saying that I am like objectively right. Objectively, like they should do that. They should stick to their aesthetic. I'm just saying why I don't like it. Like it's not. I'm not saying that, oh, they should change it, or oh, it's bad. No, it's good. They should continue in that direction. I'm just explaining why I don't like it. So that's not my argument. Having a solid vision is actually better, in my opinion. That's literally my argument. Like if you had Amy from BA suddenly appear in AK, she'd feel out of place. Again, that's not what I'm saying. Again, I do agree with you, and those are not my arguments. I never said that Arknights should change directions, that it's what's doing now it's bad, or that like it doesn't have an appeal of its own, like for the people that like it. I'm just saying why that appeal doesn't work for me, and why the consistent aesthetics of other games like I like them better, you know. Honestly, saying that Blue Archive has cuter characters than Arknights is kinda like saying that you can't eat rocks. It's obvious as the games have totally different art styles and directions. Again, that's the point. I'm not saying anything objective, I'm just talking about my tastes. So, like again, I'm sorry if you missed the beginning portion of the stream, but I'm not saying that Arknights is bad, or that it should change directions, or that it should start making like designs the way I like it. No, they should continue making designs the way they've always been. Clearly that appeals to a lot of people, clearly that has its own value. It's just that I don't like it. That's my point. If I understood it correctly, AK designs just look like clothing people would wear to go buy bread. Has someone who actually goes outside and looks at regular women on pretty much a daily basis, just from this one, like artwork here that I'm using to illustrate uh, the string, I'm going to heavily disagree on that. Women don't dress this way. So I'm sorry to say, but like if that was their objective with the designs, then they failed. If their objective was to create like this unique aesthetic of post-apocalyptic kind of techno-based design, like some other people said, they absolutely succeeded. If their appeal was like that these clothes look like clothes that regular people would wear, that's complete. That's a they failed. They just failed completely, if that's the point. I think the world is better because we have anime that does different directions and aesthetics. Again, I agree. I do think Arknights. Uh, I do think that anime should have different aesthetic. Like I said, FGO has a more like cool focus for their characters, and Nimbus Company too. Like Nikkei and Azure Lane have a more sexy like focus. Blue Archive has a more cuter focus, etc. Like I agree to that, and even again, Arknights I think has its own appeal, its own value. I'm just saying why I don't like it. I'm not saying that. Again, I feel like this isn't like getting into your heads. I'm not saying Arknight's designs are bad. Far from it. Like there are objectively good elements about them. Okay? I'm just saying why I don't like it. So you're making a lot of good points, but you're not counter arguing anything. Like I'm talking about water, you're talking about like wine. Like we're not on the same conversation here. Your points are good, but they absolutely went off the rails, and like you're not getting the point. I feel like. Uh, here. I think Obscure's issue is caused by fans constantly trying to prop up their game by tearing other games down. True, that type of interaction can lead to people disliking things they normally wouldn't mind so much, in my opinion. Uh, that is a part of it, yes, but even before like interacting with Arknights, seeing some other designs, I never thought it was anything special. Like even before interacting with the community, I was like, damn, that seems pretty boring. And then I saw a lot of people like endlessly glazing about it, especially tearing other games down to do so, and it just exacerbated that feeling. But honestly, I never thought Arknight's designs were cool. Again, I respect people with different opinions, and I respect the game for going that direction. I think that has value, like I keep saying, but uh, I never liked Dark Knight's designs, personally. Uh, so you're saying that Ark Knights is like a vanilla dojo? I wouldn't even go there, but uh, it's a good way to interpret it. I'm not gonna go there because I like vanilla actually, but in both senses. But yeah, I think it's a good way to interpret it. I wonder how you feel about Ghost Frontline. For me, it's basically the middle ground between cutesy gacha like AL and a more gritty gacha like AK. I feel like I like designs in like Ghost Frontline. There are some things that make me kind of scratch my head, like some things that really don't I don't think fit the art style. Uh, like especially some of the more like I think I saw a more demon girl looking design. I get that that's more of a costume for Halloween, but I really feel like that didn't like match the game's aesthetics, even for a fan servicey design, even for a more fan servicey game, you know. But yes, I genuinely do like the designs on both Girls Frontline 1 and 2. I would let Leva or Florence do unspeakable things to me. Okay, that's fair. I mean, if there was a setting where bikini armor was where's the fucking message? I mean, if there was a setting where bikini armor was optimal, if you do the work to sell the reader or player on it, they'd buy it. I don't think they would from personal experience, but we can talk about that later. It's always interesting to hear another perspective, Mr. Obscure Anime. Thank you. I really appreciate hearing the perspective of um, like Arknights players on this too. I do wish you kind of get my arguments a bit more, but yeah, it's been nice hearing your opinions as well. Has an ex-GFL1 player, only the core cast really had a shared design ethos. Most of the non-central dolls have wildly different art styles, unless the artist also did the core cast. Nikkei woman dress like models. ICL, I don't know what that is, but yes. Uh, my man, that boy said, because probably you have similar tastes in waifus. I think the problematic fans come from the people who play gachas and think they aren't weird. I play a gacha game, but not one of those Diddy Blood gachas. It's so funny when someone does that on Twitter, because immediately all the actual like AK fans will say, we have a ton of lolly designs. Even we don't go all the way like Azure Lane or Nikkei do, but we do sexualize lollies quite a bit too. So the fuck are you saying, man? You are playing a Diddy Blood gacha game as well. It's always funny to see. Honestly, I don't understand your point. Seems like you're just mad because you did read a few comments that are annoying and are comparing with other gacha games, what happens with all the games. Uh, I don't. I'm going to be very harsh with this, but I don't think you've been paying attention. That was one of my problems with it. But I recognize now that other games have similar problems, and I had a lot of other problems with the game that don't relate to that at all. So I'm sorry to say you're just wrong. Uh, Obscure anime, don't worry, I get your argument. I was just explaining my own opinion. Okay, so I was wrong on that. I was the one that misunderstood that. I'll take the L. That's fair. AK designs are very refined, but tend not to have as many standouts. I do understand there's liking the game and the style because it's personal taste and there's nothing wrong with it. To each their own, of course. So you do understand where I'm coming from. You know, I was so like somebody say the fan service was the anime. Let me read some of your comments because I kind of let's see this. Does this remind me of a guy driving an edgy anime girl and something like horrible happens to her? And I like, oh wow, I'm so scared. I said negatively, you got offended, and I think I got them back. USA forget like a lot of messed up people. I do remember all the psychotic people who draw anime art. A bit disturbing. What's your recommendation? I don't know why they do this. It's a show that darks twisted mind. Yeah, I do get being like put off by a lot of how could I say that, some of the more disturbing sexual and violent themes of anime. I do get where you're coming from, but personally, uh like I don't mind that. I don't mind those themes, but I can understand, like I said, where you're coming from. Now let's address, I think the last point here. Uh, Here I'm going to continue reading what that guy's argument. I think Endfield is unbalanced in that manner, to which it gets both people from both extremes that dislike the game, either for having overt goon bait in it, uh, all or not enough goombait to be satisfying across most characters. I'm in the former camp. It breaks my heart that basically any YouTube short I get involving the game is some Genshin adjacent individual fawning over Boob Jiggle or Yone Gyat. If I want to goon, I watch the Peak Solar Handlight Animations, who actually added Ivne to Ivne, Ivone to their cast of animated characters recently, and some other fan art animation, and be satisfied by that. Putting it overtly and unavoidable into the game as someone who isn't playing the original for that reason turns me away from the sequel, which I guess makes you the latter who enjoy having such content in the non NSFW games you play. You'll probably become more disinterested in the game when you find out that the clips you've seen are about the extent of characters and animations that have such content. It's not like Nikkei, Brown Dust 2, or Azure Lane, with such ecchi is essentially the centralized identity of the game in regards to character design, art, animation, skins. As for Enfield myself, I personally have no interest whatsoever to play it. The story makes no draw to me because it's basically being both a sequel and continuation, but also nearly completely disconnected from the original makes me hate it uh, about as much as uh, G5 of My Little Pony. That's quite a weird example to bring up, but okay. The game is a Genshin clone that Arknights fans cope about it not being one, and the Factorial-esque addition is too niche for any gameplay alone to draw me in. Not to mention that the new direction is bringing all the annoying Yoshio and Kurobot tourists to the community. I'm sorry, I just remembered a bunch of interactions I had on Twitter and it made me laugh because I totally get where he's coming from with this. It's basically like being swarmed by thousands of clones of Tectone, whom I despise twofold for being the toxic beacon, initiating and exacerbating all Arknights community not directly related to the game drama and being an overt anti-lolicon who's called people like rev pedos. Recently the terrorists have been going insane over the gacha rates, not being able to understand that the system is better in every way to what their games use. They have no impulse control to pull and blame the game for it when simulations have showed that the gacha is more favorable to free to plays and low spenders than the other games. The close beta test 2 is a bit different from the first one in rates and gacha, but the simulations some have ran recently still show similar better results, with most of the changes benefiting whales more who seek max dupes of the banner character. Can't really determine who the game is meant for, besides the gripline team to make their own enjoyment, I guess. So the uncertainty makes me wary to even touch it due to a guarantee community always at odds with and the game itself fighting for its identity. Okay. So that was that commenter's um like experience and like opinions about Enfield, you know. And I'm going to address this because this all came about because I said that Enfield uh, actually, like Arknightsendfield looks so good that it made me want to try it even as an Arknights hater. And that's true because again, the gameplay is a lot like Genshin Impact, but they do have their own additions, which I think make it unique enough. And I do think their gameplay is a lot more like to my taste than the one of Arknight's original. The designs, like I said, seem to actually go a lot more in the direction I like, which is to really go overboard, over the top with the appeal, be it like a cute, a sexy, or again, a cool appeal. And so I've been enjoying their designs a lot more. The game in general seems a lot more like, especially in terms of the worlds, like the aesthetic of the world and the characters' personalities. It seems a lot more light, a lot more like fun and happy than the previous game. So it's kind of uh, like solves that problem, quote in quotation marks, to me. And I haven't interacted a lot with the community, so I'm not going to give many opinions on that. But the point I want to make is that I kind of get where he's coming from because I think that happen with a lot of games. Because just as I don't think some things are like bad, like objectively bad, just because I disliked them, I also don't think just because I liked something that it necessarily is objectively good. Like I can definitely see the appeal, like I said, of the original Arknights, and I can definitely understand why a lot of Arknights fans, because that's far from the only opinion of this kind that I've seen, don't like the new direction the sequel's going. Because, yeah, it feels like a lot of the unique elements that made Arknights special to a lot of people are kind of being stripped in favor of making a more generally appealing game in the like modes of, like they said, Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves and normie shit like that. So I can definitely understand. I like it because like I said, it kind of solves quotation marks a lot of the issues I personally had with Arknights and makes it a lot more appealing to me. But I do understand and I do agree that just because like they are going in a direction I like more doesn't mean that this is a necessarily good direction, especially if you are a fan of Arknights for those reasons I described before, which has you guys have proven me. Like there are a lot of people like that, so I can definitely understand why you guys are disappointed. And overall, I don't think it's a good thing that they went in this direction, even if I like it more, because again, like I can tell that I can understand both things. You know, I can understand both that just because I dislike something that is not necessarily like objectively bad, and just because I like something isn't objectively good. Another good example of this is that game SNK Heroines, right? It's a game that I enjoyed a lot. Like it's one of my favorites, but realistically, it either shouldn't have been made, or it shouldn't have been associated with the SNK like label, because like it's not an SNK game. Like the characters barely resemble the characters that they're supposed to be at all. Like it makes a mockery out of all of them, even like the main villain. Like it strips a lot of things that people liked about SNK and kind of makes it more casual. It's like a whole part of the appeal of SNK is that, well, there are some more standout sexy characters that most female character designs are more tame and more balanced, like the ones in Arknights, and it just like SNK heroines completely turns the whole thing into like a kink fest, right? And so I like it, but even so, I'm not going to pretend like it's a good thing. It shouldn't have been an SNK game, or it shouldn't have been made at all in that sense, you know? So, uh, again, I do get why people are annoyed, and I certainly think that they are right to be annoyed. I don't think that this was a good direction for the sequel, you know? But now let's read some comments. Uh, ICL is I can't lie, by the way. Okay. Thank you. Nikkei woman dressed like models, I can't lie. I agree. Genshin create the universe meme strike again. Yeah, Genshin fans can be so annoying in regards to, oh, this copied Genshin. Oh, but this game is like a decade older than Genshin. It doesn't matter. It copied Genshin. Like it's so fucking retarded. I swear. Uh, Now, oh, okay. My biggest fear is anime becoming more gentrified, to be honest. I agree. To be honest, spin offs should be allowed to be different. The main thing is to make clear that it is a spin off. No, but the whole point here is that yes, spin offs should be allowed to be different. But a spin off should still, like, you know, still be for the core audience. Like you shouldn't make a spin-off that just completely shits on the appeal of the original game, that completely is trying to appeal to a whole new set of fans instead of making a spin-off for the people who do like the main franchise. The Pokemon spin-offs, as bad as the Pokemon games have gotten these days, they're a good example of this. Like they are vastly different experiences from mainline Pokemon, but any like normal, like any regular Pokemon fan will still be able to enjoy them. Shin Megami Tensei, for the most part, like people meme about like, oh, Persona bad, SMT good, but in reality, most Shin Megami Tensei fans like all of Shin Megami Tensei, like all their spin-offs, Persona, like Raido, the mainline series, they're all very different, but they all still are trying to appeal to the same fan base in different ways. So that's more my main point. It's not that spin-off shouldn't be able to be different. In fact, I argue it even should be different. It should try to differentiate itself, but not to the extent of like completely abandoning the original vision and the original audience. That's my point. Uh, the sentence spin-off should be allowed to be different remind me of the shit that went wrong when BB Tag, I'm guessing you mean uh, Blast Blue Tag, came out. SNK Herons could be made, it was just badly made. The GBC predecessor is liked by the community. That was an elite rage bait arc. Walked in the dust. Uh, Arknights walked in the dust, so Wenfield could reach for the stars, in my opinion. That's such a what the fuck. I hope you're like rage baiting because even as an Arknights hater, that made me mad, honestly. Um, a lot of people didn't just complain that it was a badly made game. They complained about, like I said, a lot of the elements that it stripped from SNK to try to appeal to a different audience, me, you know. So that's more my main point. Like even if it was like a better game in this regard, I still think a lot of people wouldn't have liked it. A lot of SNK fans wouldn't have liked it, and for good reason. Nah, did this 1980s slot machine copy Genshin exposed? It's literally like that, dude. It's unironically like that. You're not even exaggerating at all, and that makes me mad. Uh, Not GBC. It was for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, okay? Arknights is huge in China. Just see the Bilibili viewership. OG Arknights is only niche in global. I never. What? I'm not saying that it's niche, like far from it. Arknights is one of the like most popular gacha games, even in global. Like I never said it was niche. I'm just saying that it isn't like super normie tier like Genshin is. Like if you go to a gacha game fan, like any gacha game fan, even if they don't play Arknights, they probably heard of Arknights. It's definitely a very popular game. But if you go to like some rando that only plays fighting games, right? They are much more likely to have heard of Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves or stuff like that than OG Arknights. So that's more my point. Yang the Ferret. Yeah, I see what you mean there. Basically, a spin-off should give the creators and fans a chance to try something new while keeping the core identity of what made the franchise special. Yes, exactly. Uh, and again, they have, at least on my like case, actually they were able to catch this new audience that they were going for. It's just a question of was that a good thing? Like, yeah, I liked it, but should it have been made for me? Is that kind of thing. But yeah, I think the whole Arknights discussion is concluded. I think I said everything I wanted to say. So, yeah, we're going to do a longer podcast if you guys don't mind. We're going to go for the 2 hours and we're going to like address some other points if you don't mind. By the way, I'm memeing, but to be honest, I just hope that when Few doesn't fall on its head and implodes. Fair, fair. Yes, I understood, but if we're talking about the SNK fandom, they would hate it, even if Kyo, they would hate even Kyo if he was created recently. Hmm. I'm not too, like, what's the word? I'm not too familiar like with that topic. I was just talking about like the discussions I've seen and the like comparisons I've like the arguments I've seen for own SNK fans against SNK heroines, but I'd have to research more about this to really talk about it. Sorry, but I'm getting sleepy. Good night. Honestly, I'm surprised you're still here. I thought you had gone to sleep already. But good night, Fisher. I miss when Arknightsendfield. I miss when Arknightsendfield when was a joke. Tell me honest. I have seen podcasts go from straight up to 11 hours or longer. No, no stream. I'm sorry, no stream of mine like ever is going to go for more than 4 hours. I just can't, dude. Like even when I'm playing visual novels, the most like the easiest type of game to play for a stream, I can't go for longer than 4 hours. Dude. No stream of mine is ever going to be longer than that, and most of them are going to be in that 2 hour range or maybe less. Sorry to disappoint. I'm absolutely not an endurance streamer. What's a good point to talk about in that sense? Oh, that's a good one, actually. Um, since we're talking about the whole like sequels changing for the benefit of another audience, um, I got this really interesting question. Well, this set of very interesting questions from a subscriber that was like, how much should be changed for the sake of the modern audience, and revivals or remakes, which are better? Um, it's just like at a point your social battery runs out and even streaming is hard. By the way, do you have a favorite AK character despite everything you dislike about the game? No, sorry. It's just I hate it with a passion. Again, the whole point of this stream is to talk about like why it's Arknights is the kind of crystallization of everything I dislike. So again, not a bad game, not even close to that. In fact, it's a pretty good one, but I don't like it. Not even a bit. Sorry to say. Also, I might be biased. I freaking love AK, but it's interesting to hear your opinions. Thank you. It was also interesting to hear the like. It's interesting to just have a positive interaction with the Arknights community. I had some before, but I definitely had a lot more negative interactions with it like in the past. So it's nice to kind of balance out and have a lot more good interactions with genuinely good people in that community, and to like get a better image of you guys. I genuinely like that. I don't like hating on people. I don't like hating on things. So whenever I get a further reason not to, that's a good thing in my book. I don't think it's bad for a franchise to attract new fans, but it should do so by maintaining its spirit, true and real. The way you keep a franchise healthy is to pay respect to your cultivated fan base. True and real, that's not just your opinion, that's a fact. But now we're going to be talking about another topic. So, if the main topic of this string Arknights, like me disliking Arknights, was quite a spicy take. I'm going to do like a really spicy take now. I really, again, as I keep saying whenever I mention that guy, I don't agree with a lot of what he says. I don't like condemn a lot of his opinions. I don't think he's a good person, etc., etc. All those things. Uh, but if there's but I do think he, like the synthetic man, has some like interesting to even genuinely good takes, and one of them is the fact that remakes shouldn't exist, or if they need to exist, they should be used for like games that were bad. Like you shouldn't remake a good game. And I'm a complete hypocrite when it comes to this because one of my favorite games of all time, like the Trials of Mana remake, like, well, is a remake, and I wouldn't play the original. Like, I just need Angela's ass to be in 3D, dude. I'm sorry. So I am kind of a hypocrite on this, but it's another one of those things where just because I like it doesn't mean I think it's a good thing. Because, like, there's no point to remakes. Like, to a certain extent, it does attract a new audience, but it generally just appeals to, like, the people who already liked the original. And if they already liked the original, wouldn't it be better to just make the original available? Heck, even when you make the original more available, that by itself attracts a new audience. So why even bother? Why remake something? Like, you can just re-release the original, make it available, and you please the core community and attract a new audience, like, just the same. Like, why put all those that effort in that just ends up, like, harming the thing for that just ends up harming the thing a lot of the time, if not making it neutral. Because, like, uh, the example that he used was like a perfect one. Like, would you remake the Mona Lisa for a modern audience? Like, why do we think that games need to be remade, that they need to be like restructured, like their graphics and their gameplay and their story needs to be updated for a modern audience? If the game is good, then it should be like good universally, good throughout time. Like the classics, you can still read them and they're still good stories, you know? If you read the Iliad, if you read uh like Journey to the West, if you read like Dante's Inferno, all the classics are still good books even today. They don't need to be like remade for a modern audience. That's stupid. Same thing with the Mona Lisa. No one like needs to remake the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is able to be appreciated because it's just a good painting. Like, you don't need to remake the Mona Lisa for it to be appreciated. It can be appreciated as the original, you know? And that goes for most other forms of art. Like like even like more modern forms of art, like movie remakes. Like, pretty much everyone hates movie remakes. Like, they're almost universally hated. So why don't we have this attitude when in regards to games? Why do we feel like games need to be remade for a modern audience? Even when, like, being remade for a modern audience isn't, oh, we need to censor everything here. Even when in the case of like remakes that don't do that, like the recent Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, right? Why even bother? Like, why remake that? That's not necessary. Just release the game again. Like, all the people I've seen enjoying Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake, would have bought the original as well, or they have bought the original. Like, what's the point? Why should we do this? This is just stupid, you know? And if anything, like he said, if you need to remake something, you should remake things that weren't good, like games that were like flawed masterpieces, as they say, games that had a good core or a few good and notable elements, but failed due to like a poor execution in like one or other area, like the gameplay being annoying or the story being nonsensical or a particular mechanic kind of harming the whole thing and making it like unappealing. You should, if anything, you shouldn't be remaking good games. You should just be making them available to a modern audience. What you should be remaking are the bad games, the games that like weren't good on a first try, the games that and the games especially that could be made good with a bit more polish. Those are the games that should be getting remade, not all the shit that people already love, you know? So I really just don't get the point. Like, what should be how much should be changed for the sake of the modern audience? On principle, nothing. Like, again, I'm a hypocrite because I like a remake and I wouldn't play the original, but on principle, and especially considering the vast majority of cases, uh, remakes just shouldn't exist, especially the way they are made right now. And my opinion is no, nothing needs to be changed for the modern audience. Nothing. Not gameplay, not graphics, not story, not problematic content, nothing. That's my opinion on this. Now let's see you guys staring me a new asshole. Let's go. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's here. For me, no change. Any wrong step can lead to the old totally leaving and the new fans not being enough to support the remake sequel. True and real. I want more sequels that make no sense and have Snoop Dogg and Pecora in them. And I'm not kidding. I am kidding. I think I know the exact game you're referring to, and yeah, I do agree with that. Like, what the fuck was that? I agree. P5R does not need to exist. True and real. In my opinion, remakes should only exist for games that actually need them. Correct. I prefer remasters by a large extent, yes. Basically, I don't think remakes can't exist. I just hate that they're used as cash grabs. I agree. I think a remake should be like Resident Evil 2. Upgrade from the blueprint and less like Resident Evil 4. Just an Unreal Engine 5 filter add-on. Again, I don't even think that that's necessary, you know? But I can obviously understand why like that would have appeal to you. I just, again, on principle, for the most part, like what will apply to the most people, I don't think this is necessary. Now let's see. uh Honestly, the only remakes I like to see are big ones where things go from like 2D to 3D, or maybe get a great graphical upgrade. uh yeah, like when remaking games from 2D to 3D, I think there's a lot more of an argument. Why? Like I said, with the whole like um, Trials of Mana remake, I wouldn't play the original, and I know a lot of people who wouldn't as well. Exactly because of how different the remake feels, you know? So I think it's definitely more understandable in the case of 2D games and very early 3D games, but for the most part, remakes are just cash grabs that don't need to exist. And even as cash grabs, like companies should realize that they can make a lot more money by not remaking shit, by just releasing the original game and making it available on like more recent platforms. Like if you're that greedy, then go all the way. Like being more greedy is actually better in this case. Again, for the most part. But I do agree that there, in general, I still like remain with my original argument. But I do agree that there's more of a reason if a game is particularly old and particularly primitive. But I do understand that more. Uh, I think a good one would be one for bad unfinished games like Final Fantasy VIII. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. To be honest, with Journey to the West, I heard it took a guy like 9 years to finish all of it. I tried to with the update the graphics because I'll be honest, the graphics look so pixelated they're hard to see. Sometimes a game is too old to put on new consoles, but examination. Again, like when a game is particularly primitive, again, you're giving some good like arguments for that case, and that's funny because I'm remembering right now the Synthetic Man also had like similar arguments. Like he himself said that, oh no, he finds it like in general he agrees with that general statement, but he finds more value in remakes which actually like of older, like very old and very primitive games. So we're actually pretty much agreeing on everything up until this point. Like remakes should only exist for anime that didn't follow the manga story. Yes, exactly. Games that were too messy due to hardware limitations or short-sighted designs. Yes. If something is good, remaster it, don't remake it. Exactly. Movie remake can be something great. Case in point, Friday the 13th. Yeah, but they're generally like trashed. Like most movie remakes are trashed. Like some of them can be good, but they're mostly trashed and they're mostly like viewed poorly. And I think the same thing should be true for most game remakes. That's my point. Oh, you just reminded me of Fate Extra remake. That game needed it. It was so fucking bad. Oh my lord. Oh yeah. I've seen like original gameplay from like Fate Extra and CCC. My lord. I could not play that if my life depended on it. Like if criminals pointed a gun at my head and said, "Okay, you either finish that game or we'll explode your head. Like we'll literally like shoot you with a shotgun and the pieces of your brain will scatter so wide throughout this room that not even futuristic machinery will be able to revive you. I would just put the like shotgun in my mouth and pull the trigger myself in Minecraft. Because good lord, were those games terrible. Jesus Christ. Problem with remasters and availability nowadays is that they sometimes are censored or they insert some stupid thing like what they did to FF Tactics. Yeah, I didn't want to touch on that point because like I kind of wanted to prove that even without censorship, even when a remake is more faithful, that it still doesn't have a reason to exist. But that's a pretty good point, that a lot of those like made for the modern audience remakes are just like, oh no, this thing is so problematic, like we need to remove it, even though like no one was complaining about it. Well, no one that actually played the game was complaining about it, and even the people who uh like were complaining about it and that played the game, well, they were playing the game and they continue to buy the sequel. So clearly they're just talking out their ass. They don't actually have a problem or that much of a problem. So yeah, that's a good point too. Also, bad or unfinished animes should be remade. Berserk, for example, correct. Claymore also, correct. This discussion reminded me of the Saga. The Saga game, nearly all of them have remakes, but the old ones are still good by how simpler they are. The reason anime and games are getting censored is because of stupid corpos. Uh, a lot of corpos are just enablers of like bad activists, you know? They are to blame too, but a lot of the time it's not even the corpos that are doing this. Like the corpos, they don't have, obviously because they're corpos, they don't have this kind of awareness of what the medium people, the average person, their average, especially main audience likes, and so they get that information from people below on the company hierarchy. And a lot of those, like, because a lot of people like to blame corpos, but the reason they do this is because of something that flows upstream. It's because of like a lot of activists, especially that like enter these game studios and then they convince the corpos that all the meaningless shit that they complain about is actually things that most people value when it's not, and it leads to situations like what we're seeing now. Corpos are so annoying. Basically, the corpos have the money and they're trying to appeal to whoever's loudest. Correct. Exactly what I mean. Uh, it's getting late, so let's finish up with a like more funny one. Since we're talking about Blue Archive, right, and that whole discussion, like, please tell me that none of you actually like think that, like, I get that has a joke, I get that has a like more a kink that you want to imagine, but there are people out there that legitimately think that Kisaki can't, like Kisaki from Blue Archive, can't wear panties under her dress. And every time I see that argument being made, like for real, when it's like not a joke or a kink thing, I'm just like, my god, how can anyone be this fucking stupid? Like, even in reality, like right now, we have thongs. You know what those are? Yeah, a lot of girls ride them so high up their waists, right, that they are visible through their pants. And like you could use the same trick for these panties not to be visible, like through Kisaki's dress. Like so it's just so stupid to hear people actually think that, because like Jesus Christ, have you never seen Chun-Li, Mai Shiranui, like any like fighting game character from before 2015? Like Jesus, like how can anyone actually think things? How can anyone actually be like, oh no, there's no way this could be true? Like, are you serious? I do you lack this? Do you have this little imagination? Do you actually not use your brain at all? Do you have zero like uh knowledge of like real world fashion, as well as like in games fashion? Games have solved this problem of, oh, how can she wear panties when she has that style of dress? Games have solved this problem for more than 2 decades now. Like we have a fuck ton of examples of that. Like how can you be this stupid? How can you be so without imagination? How can you be I swear to Christ. Yeah, that just pisses me off. I'm sorry. I just the people who legitimately say this are so fucking stupid. Legitimately makes me mad. I'm sorry. It's not even like me playing it up for stream. I just legitimately get angry whenever people genuinely make that argument, because God, how are you this stupid? But anyway, let's read some comments. Then, actually, that theme didn't take as much time as I thought it would. So we'll be. Um, no, you know what? I'll be reading the comments and then finishing this up, because, frankly, some of the other. Um, what's the word? Some of the other topics are more, how would I say it? They are more appropriate for a different stream. We aren't in the type of mood that would be necessary. We aren't in the context that would be necessary to properly tackle them. So we'll just be reading comments and then we'll end stream, if you guys don't mind. Blah blah blah. Corpus. Okay. Oh, some BA fans do have brain rot. My wife is heavily brain rotted. Fair, fair. No, Mr. Obscure Anime. I think it's important to argue if she goes commando or not. The plot needs it. She does not. She doesn't need to. There are so many ways she could like wear panties under there. This, oh, that, like maybe she does. Like if you want to believe that as a kink of yours, it's fine. But if you legitimately believe that she couldn't, that's where I have issue with. Like Jesus Christ. But anyway, my brain rot runs deep. I think about Amy and Himari being all but married all the time. Okay, that's some high tier fan fiction, but okay. I do get it, but okay. So I feel most of the people making the jokes are memeing. The issue is people making the same joke over and over again. That's one thing that I'll agree, it's very annoying in the Blue Archive community, because the whole point of, oh no, we need to make those memes, we need to bump it up to 11 in order to drive away the normies. Fair, okay, that makes sense. But can you at least be creative about it? Every time it's just the same fucking comment, the same fucking jokes again and again and again. Like, if you're going to do that, at least get new material once in a while, please. But anyway, I don't have any comments, but I like Kizaki's dress, so do I. My paranoia says that joking atmosphere is a good cover for freaks, but being found out would be extremely bad in a fandom eager to beat the allegations. No one's scared about beating the allegations, to be honest. Yeah, especially in Blue Archive. Like, no one is scared to beat the allegations in Blue Archive. Pretty much everyone is like, oh no, I'm not just a Cunny Man, I am the Cunny Man. So yeah, we need more jokes in BA, to be honest, true and real. But yeah, I think this will be it for today. Thank you all for watching my mad ramblings. And yeah, I really like the new perspectives I got from you guys, how you like helped me develop my opinions on various things. And I hope I was, even if I didn't change anything, I hope I gave you a good perspective, or at least an interesting perspective, an interesting different opinion on things that you liked, you know? But yeah, for now, just let me read that. There are a solid 5 people who think they're not weird and play BA. Thank you for the stream. See you, Mr. Obscure Anime. See you all. We are weird.